dive into the world of a marketing genius with Brian Gregory, a titan in advertising and publishing with over 2 decades of experience. On this episode of Business Growth Talks, I will peel back the layers of Brian Gregory's groundbreaking strategies that are transforming how small businesses, media firms, and marketing agencies connect with their audiences. Discover the secrets behind the Yes Test, Brian's innovative tool that revolutionizes brand perception and customer persuasion through the power of human emotions. From his pioneering services like Salesmanate to the impactful Yes Press for press release distribution, our contributions are reshaping the marketing landscape. Based in Phoenix, Arizona, Brian Gregory is not just about ideas but results, and drawing from his championship-winning discipline in athletics to preach the gospel of persistence and empathy in business strategy. Tune in to uncover how to leverage emotional branding to skyrocket your business growth. Straight from the mastermind who on his mission to slash the failure rate of small businesses. Don't miss out on this exclusive insight into the power of emotional connection in a driving customer purchase environment and brand loyalty. Today, we have Brian Gregory, who has 24 years of experience in publishing and advertising. He is an expert in delivering small businesses, media firms, consultants, and marketing agencies analysis of their company and how to communicate with their customers. The Yes Test is a free tool which will access how your brand is viewed and use human emotions to persuade customers to buy. Brian has created other services like Salesmanate, where you can send the Yes Test to your clients, and also the Yes Press, which was set up to help with press releases. Brian is based in Phoenix, Arizona. And if you're enjoying this content, please do consider subscribing and you won't miss an episode. And also you can go to businessgrowthtalks.com for more information. Hello, Brian. How are you today?
Mark, I am doing super today, and I'm
Amazing.
excited for the show. I can't wait to get started.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to this a lot. We've known each other for a little while on a networking community that we're part of. And it's just one of these people, Brian, that you've been on the top of my list. And I'm never sure, like, you're a very busy man. You have lots of calls. I always get this impression that you're speaking to lots of prospects, lots of clients, lots of customers. So I'm glad we got this time in and we can delve into the Yes Test.
I am too. There's nothing more important than getting the word out about this. Your show does that. I'm sure it's going to be remarkable when it's done. So, no, the pleasure's mine.
Brian, the first question I ask all of my guests is, what does a business mindset mean to you?
Oh, that's a good question. A business mindset, to me, and this will make more sense as we get more into what we do. But for me, a business mindset has to be one of empathy for the customer. If you're in business, and I don't care what you do and what niche you're in, what awesome or crazy product you might sell, you have to be able to almost take a journey outside of your own body and be the customer. What are they thinking? What are they afraid of? What are they excited about? What are the triggers? What are the things to stay away from? What are they thinking? That's what our company specializes in figuring out. And so a business mindset would have to be, for me, to be able to just sit in the seat of my customer and feel what they feel so that my business has a chance of thriving instead of throwing darts at a moving board. And to me, that I think that would sum it up.
That's a great answer. We've not had that before on the show. And that whole idea of empathy, going in the shoes of your customers, I think is really important. And essentially, the basis of your business is about thinking about what customers want and how they want to be communicated. And we'll come into that later on in the show. But no, thank you for a very unique answer. I appreciate it. Next question is, tell me one thing about your upbringing which reflects on who you are today.
I think I had great parents, mom and dad, no longer with us, but boy, great parents. And they never pushed me to be an entrepreneur. In fact, one day they sat me down and they said, "Why do you do this? Why are you doing this?" We had jobs, we had security, we had pensions and all that, retirement. And here you are, this is early in life, I'm running around trying to do crazy things. And I said, "I don't know, but you never told me I shouldn't." And my parents always encouraged me to try new things. And then they said, just do your best, do your very best. And I never found an easy business. For those of you who are out there looking for one, let me tell you, I've done a bunch. Show me the easy business, please. I think it's working hard. Everything I ever got in life, from athletic achievements to any success in business, came at the end of an awful lot of just everyday hard work, outworking the people competing against me at all times. And if anything I got from earlier in life is that pays off. It pays huge dividends. And then when it becomes part of your daily mentality, it doesn't seem like work anymore. It's what you do. It seems like work for someone who never works. Well, that person needs to maybe pick up the pace. But I think work hard, keep going, act as if you're winning, even on the bad days. You just got to keep going because everybody else quits.
Yeah.
You know, most of them quit. And so you just got to outlast them. That's my philosophy.
And your athletic achievements, was it right that I saw that you did shot put? Is that right?
I was a national champion shot putter and discus thrower in another life, believe me. I look back at the pictures and I go, wow, who is that guy? He has lots of muscles and all of his hair. But it was a wonderful time in my life. And I ended up getting a scholarship to UCLA and doing quite well, qualifying eventually for 2 Olympic trials in 84 and 88. So I got to experience the life of a gladiator. Essentially, those are gladiator sports. If you think about it, throwing a big heavy thing farther than the other big guy throws his big heavy thing. But it was just a wonderful strengthening, conditioning, 7, 8, 9 years, 4 or 5 hours a day. Well, like I said, stick to it. The other guys will quit, and it paid off. And so, yeah, I had some great success early in life with sports. It was fun. And it showed me that you can be better than even most people think you are. I had a few people in my corner who said, you could really be the best. And everyone else said, come on, you're dreaming. And I listened to the few, and they were right. So don't be afraid to push beyond what other people are saying about you, because they're usually wrong.
Yeah, I think it's a Michael Jordan quote, isn't it? Never be outworked by anyone else. And did you find that the mindset of an athlete is comparable to an entrepreneur?
Yes, there is no question. Now, I was really fortunate. I was on a team of winners. Imagine everybody on our team that we call them throwers, shot putters and discus throwers, had never been beaten in their junior careers. Every one of these guys was a winner, state champion, all that. And all of a sudden, here we are together, and there cannot be all winners anymore. And you show up with winners. I love the quote, show me your 5 friends, your 5 best friends, I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
We were all winners. So all of us did really well, and we pushed each other and we worked, and it was painful, and it was all those things, and one more workout, one more rep. And it's just like business. You got to wake up every day and do it again, because the digital sand dune just erased everything you did yesterday. So got to get up and do it again, and not complain about it, and continue to make small little victories every single day. A little bit better, a little bit farther, a little bit better, a little bit stronger. And all of a sudden, one day you find yourself and they're hanging a gold medal around your neck. And it was good. But it's all those little days that did it. And we were all gifted athletes. You're on a team like that, you're around world record holders. And yet it still took unbelievable amount of hard work just to keep up with them. Yeah, even the gifted have to work hard. And I think if you ask some of the gifted people, you'll be surprised how many years it took them to get to what we now call gifted or lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been running Admanity and the Yes Test for 8, 9 years, I think it is. What did you do before Admanity? So let's go fast forward through the career, shot putter, discus. What did you do when you left school and left college? And what was that in between stage?
It was the Wild West mentality. It was ready, fire, aim. Let's build something. Hey, that sounds like fun. Let's start that company. And then you'd run that company for a couple of years, and it was either yes or no. And I started about 8 different things, and I think about 4 of them did. The other 4 sunk like rocks. And I think if you can bat 50% out there, you're doing pretty good. And I weaved my way unexpectedly into publishing. I had never wanted to be a publisher and had no dreams of publishing magazines or anything like that. But as a result of a business deal I was in, I ended up with ownership of a magazine that was struggling, not making any money. And I was stuck with it or the deal wouldn't go through. So I had to take it. Here I am. I don't know anything about publishing. I'm really not an ad expert yet. And I'm learning the business the hard way. Payroll's next week and we don't have any money. And I had to learn how to sell ads, and advertising became my passion. I loved it. I was really had a natural ability for it, but I didn't know that either. So until I got into publishing, I had just tried different things, but I'd had to advertise each of those businesses. I'd had to figure it out. And that's why I relate so much to the small business people, because during that time, I didn't know what I was doing. I'd put an ad out there, it'd be the best thing I could think of, and it would bomb or give me a few phone calls at the time. And I was like, gosh, this is costing me a lot of money. I'm getting so little back.
Mm.
What's the trick? What am I doing wrong? There's nobody
Mm.
to tell me. There's nobody knows this any better. It's just spend more money. And when I got into advertising, I saw how some of the best advertisers were doing it. And I got to see up close, the ones who stayed were the ones who paid. Okay. And the
Mm.
ones that had bad ads quit very quickly because they weren't performing. And so they just figured the magazine was at fault and they'd blame us and cancel the ad. But the
Right.
ones who had good ads kept going. And I thought, look at those people. They're making money every month and they're happy. What's in those ads that the people that are complaining
Right.
are upset about? And because I wouldn't pay for an ad that didn't work every week either. I don't blame them, but it was really hard on us to keep the magazine going. And eventually started to study this thing called advertising. And if you study it for more than a minute, you'll learn about human emotions being the biggest part of it. And that's how it all got started for me. Was I was thrown into advertising really against my will. I actually fought this. I didn't want the magazine. So I knew it was going to be a lot of work. And I'm lucky. I'm so lucky that I got stuck with it. It ended up being one of the largest magazines in the area. And we did really well for almost 2 decades. I learned a lot from
And
doing
did you
that.
sell that business at the end?
Yeah, at the end, it was sold. And I said to myself, a few years prior, I said, if I ever get out of the magazine biz, I'm going to figure out a way to help small businesses understand how this advertising thing really works, because so many would come to us and so many would fail. I'd feel bad. I wanted everybody to win, and they would hand you the ad that they had created, and that's what you had to run in the book. And so when it failed, if I couldn't help but feel some of that pain. And I said, we're going to fix this, because they're not teaching this in schools. They're not even teaching it in marketing schools. And the only way to find out if you got a good ad is to hire a really good ad agency, and they'll do a great job, but they'll charge you for it, and they'll charge you plenty.
Yeah.
And small businesses can't afford most of the agency professionals. So they fight this throw another dart business game where the dartboard moved since last night. No matter how many times you throw the dart, sometimes you hit it and you don't even know why it's working. I've had people say, I don't have no idea why the ad is working, but just don't change it. Don't change a thing. And that's no way to win either, because then you don't know how to do it again. And I vowed that we would fix that, and we would come up with a system, and I had no idea how to do any of that. It was just me talking big. But
So tell me about the yes test. Tell me about what it is, who you help, what your target market is, and how do you add value?
the yes test is the result of that promise. And it shows you in 5 minutes why people, customers, will say yes to you in your messaging, your branding, your marketing, your advertising, your copywriting, everything. It's all part of that big ball of why somebody will say yes to you. The most important question any business owner can know the answer to is that one. And it took 7 years. And you mentioned we've been around 9 years. 7 of those 9 years was developing this thing. No money coming in, just creating the algorithms that would, and the test itself that would be necessary to be able to do this, because there was no previous model. There's no other test on earth that does this. And so we couldn't even copy anybody. And the only thing we knew was what worked, because we studied the other brands throughout history that had been successful. We studied all of the biggest ad campaigns in history and studied the winners only. If you study nothing but winners, guess what? You learn how to win. And we found these common formulas in these great ad campaigns, and we were able to break it down, algorithmatize it. I don't know if that's a word.
It's
Hopefully
a
it is.
great word anyway.
And now you can take a 5-minute test for free that will show you exactly what will make people say yes to you. It took us 7 years to do something you can do in 5 minutes now. And that's what the yes test is all about. And we're helping, our goal is to help millions of small businesses for free, just to get off the ground. Find out what your emotions are, because people buy an emotion 100% of the time.
Yeah.
They haven't bought on logic yet.
No.
And you need to know those emotions are so critical. And I'll shut up there because I know you got more questions.
The follow-up question was, you said you were first to market, and one of the things we've talked about on this show a number of times is actually being first to market can be incredibly tough, and actually successful businesses are often, and this has been a conversation I've had numerous times on this show, is you have an idea, you do your market research, other people are doing something similar, you make something unique about it. What's your twist on that business to be successful? But you were telling me you were first to market. How did you cope about being first to market? Because like, it's a really tough area to be that first person to market. What was your experience there?
I'll probably relate to a lot of small business people. Okay, so we're working 7 years. An amazing amount of work has gone into this. I can't even describe it. And the website's finally up, and we got a social media page up, and the test is ready, and it's sitting there, and we're all staring at the screen, and nothing is happening. And I said, "Has anybody gone to our website?" No, it doesn't look like it. And so, any sales or no? Anybody take the test? No, nothing is happening. It's just this vacuum of activity. Because we had spent so much time building it, we hadn't had enough time to really figure out how to market it.
Right.
And so being first is great. You'll always be first, but don't forget the other half of the business plan, which is figure out how to present this thing.
Yeah.
And who your market truly is.
Yeah.
Because we thought it was everybody, and because we could help any business on earth. And that is true. The test can help any business, no matter what kind of business you have. But it wasn't our best market to just say, yeah, we can help the world. And we hope we do.
So what industries did you target? What industries did you target initially?
Initially, we targeted small business, just mom and pop,
right,
single owner type of businesses. And we just wanted to get testimonials and get, prove we knew it worked. But until you take that test for yourself, there's nothing I can say that will be as convincing as reading your own results.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to get a lot of small businesses to try it. Now, eventually we learned that although they're great, it was the marketers of the world, the people who have to sell for a living, the marketers, the agency types, anybody that's digital and put a blank after it, they took the test, and oh my God, they became our biggest, most ardent fans.
Right.
Instantly, thank you. This is awesome. How did you do this? This saves me so much time, so much money.
Yeah.
Because I'm responsible for the marketing of something else, and now I know what to do. Whereas a lot of smaller businesses would like the information, but they didn't necessarily act on it. The marketers would act on it. And so now we've narrowed our target, if you will, our best customers are marketers, advertising agencies, digital agencies, anybody in the media business. I was a publisher. We can use the test to sell more ads for magazines like crazy, or radio stations, doesn't matter. And community groups, networking groups, big groups out there that have a lot of people that are B2B. Let's say you got a group of B2B customers and you're trying to keep them in your community. You're trying to keep them paying the monthly fee, whatever it is. We can come in and be that glue with this analysis, because we just continue to teach and train and motivate and teach and train and show them how to be better. And so that's probably our best three. Number one, agencies. Number two, marketing people. Number three, community-based organizations.
Do you give this 5-minute tool for free? What's the business model of actually making money for you guys?
Yeah, it's a great question. People ask me, how do you make any money over there? It is by giving first. We didn't start out this way. We learned the hard way. We started out selling. Buy this thing and you'll get your test.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we switched that around and said, let's take the test for free and then decide if you want to buy this thing, that things started to really make sense, because people didn't want to buy something they didn't understand.
Yeah.
So now we let them take the test first. The light bulbs go on. All of a sudden they realize, oh my gosh, I get it. I understand for the first time why I will make more money with these ideas. And then they want to maybe look into buying the more in-depth report on their business, which is much larger, with formulas, words, colors, phrases, metaphors, upsells, customer win-back campaigns, sample ads. It's almost like an ad agency gave you an owner's manual. And then there's other businesses that need leads, and we came up with a lead generator using the YES test. How would you like to give the test away to all of your customers? They then book appointments with you to find out more, because they all want to know more. We have up to 78% success rate booking appointments. Imagine 78 out of 100 people you give the test to will book an appointment. That's crazy, right? Those are crazy numbers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so if you need lead gen, we have that, and it's a much more fun way to do lead gen than what you see out there, where you get people hammering with bots and phony messages, and every day getting pelted with another auto-programmed email. That you give someone a gift that makes sense for their business, that helps them, actually really helps them for free. And you start out with a friend instead of a prospect. And that prospect becomes a lead, and that lead becomes a customer, because trust gets established early in the relationship, and it costs them not one penny. And that's how we learned how to reach people. It's not by selling, but by giving first, giving real value first.
I think that's a really clever way of actually positioning yourself, because it's a funnel, in essence, is what you've created. People get into the YES test, they see value, they then want to learn more, they then buy your more complete, your more comprehensive services. I think it's a very clever way of actually doing that. So the YES test, will it help me with my social media content? Will it help me with creating funnels? Will it help me with building a website, getting the word in for sites?
It will blow your mind how much it will help you. And I would say, as long as your customers are human, the YES test will help you. Because here's why. Whether you're doing a landing page, a funnel, a website, an email, or you're speaking face-to-face, we're talking about human persuasion. We're talking about the ability to influence another person so that they favor your side of the fence, right? And those laws are known. We have over 300 formulas that we've compiled that have worked and made billion-dollar brands out of more than one company. And they work over and over again, because humans aren't that different at the emotional level. We all have the same toolbox. Now, we're different everywhere else, but when it comes to the human emotions, the primal triggers that drive humanity, that make you get out of bed in the morning and go the rest of the day, those primal triggers are the same for all of us. And if you understand which ones sell product or service. Now you've got a pretty big advantage. So yes, whatever it is, you may say, I don't want to do any ads. I like doing social media posts. Fine. This will show you how to create the most brand attractive social media post you'll ever do, or it'll help you be a better speaker, or it'll help you be a better email marketer or content marketer, or whatever it is you're doing that you call marketing. Eventually a person sees it, and if a person sees it, if they don't get emotional, they're not touching your brand. They're not going to buy. They're going to disengage. They're going to not read your emails. They're going to unsubscribe because you're not pushing the emotional trigger that they're looking for. The yes test identifies that trigger and shows it to you and says, look, here's what you should be doing from now on. Everyone who's made $1 zillion before you did it this way. Just copy them. We didn't create a single formula. We simply observed the market for the last 100 years and said, look what works over and over again. It worked for this company in the 60s. It worked for this company in the 80s. It's working for this company in the 2000s.
So tell me one of your favorite brands, like in the last 100 years, what like, just to give us all an example, because we're all thinking, like you said, you've studied advertising and messaging for the last 100 years. Just name one or two that we all of my audience will go, oh yeah, that was really impactful.
I'll mention a couple that everyone, at least in the US and probably worldwide, might know. Axe body spray is a good example for men. And
Okay.
it was a $4 bottle of lotion. You put it on and smell good. And the commercial said that basically supermodels would throw themselves at your feet as soon as you had this fragrance. And it was for young men who don't get many supermodels to fall at their feet. So basically, the world's biggest nonsensical ad. However, it was a repeat of high karate in the 1960s, where a guy would splash on some lime juice flavored formula and walk out his door, and he would have to karate chop women to keep them away because they were all uncontrollably attracted to him. That's total nonsense. And a lot of ads are, because they appeal to your subconscious. They don't appeal to your conscious. And every time this formula worked, now Axe, a lot of people don't know, it was a brand that had been marketed in Europe and had not done well. When they brought it to the US, they changed the campaign to where the women were attracted to the men, which subconsciously is what young men wanted.
Yeah.
And even though the premise was silly, at the end of the day, the subconscious doesn't have time. The subconscious mind doesn't question, reason things out. It simply accepts what it sees. And they accepted.
And there's a product in the UK that was called Lynx, which still exists now, and it's exactly the same. They put this on, and women throw themselves at the man, and so
it's the same company.
It's the same product. It's the same commercial.
And the initial ads for Lynx were not successful. They were, if I remember, they were more super Calvin Kleinish, exotic, and they switched to this formula, which has always worked. And interestingly, Old Spice got mad at them. Obviously, they're taking their market share left and right. They got $4 billion of a $5 billion market with this formula. Old Spice used the same exact formula for the third time to win a bunch of that market share back for them. So these formulas work no matter if you've seen them before. Another good example in the US is Geico, which is a car insurance company, which no one had ever heard of. It was near bankruptcy 25 years ago. And they came out with this little lizard, and he was animated, and he would tell you to buy the car insurance. And they've made hundreds of commercials ever since. Now, this formerly unknown car insurance company is number 2. And they are making billions of dollars from zero to hero type of story. And all they did was change their formula. And now everyone's copying them. And everyone that's copying their formula is selling more car insurance than they've ever sold before. So which their formula is very simple: laugh and save. Funny commercial, doesn't have much to do with car insurance. Oh, but you could be saving money on your car insurance, save 15%, the big tag at the end. And almost all commercials that are successful are built in similar fashion, 2 emotions combining. This is what our formulas are about. Which 2 emotions is the mystery for you right now. We can show them to you after you take your test. But there's a couple of emotions in the ad combining to create a desire to buy that particular type of product.
Right.
and Skittles tells you to taste the rainbow. You've heard that one. That's a
Yeah.
silly premise, right? It's dumb. You can't do it. But rainbows are happy and
Yeah.
nice and pleasant, and they mean good luck and all those wonderful things. And they just associated their candy to happiness and
Yeah.
wonderful things. And I can give you hundreds of examples of brands who've done similar things,
Right.
and they've literally gone from brands that were near bankruptcy to the billion-dollar brands that we know today.
Mhm.
A lot of them were on the teetering edge of going under
Right.
at one point.
So just on a different shift for the conversation. So your employees that work with you at Humanity and the Yes Test, so are they US based or are they remote workers?
We're all US based. We use some services. We've used Fiverr
Yeah.
and other task-oriented websites to help us with things, because there's quite honestly some talented people all over the world. You just have
Yeah.
no idea how talented some of these people are, truly. But most of our team is US based. Most of our customers are US, and some in Canada and Australia and England, and the English speaking
Yeah.
countries dominant with
And
us primarily.
and how have you kept your talent? How have you kept your best employees?
Um, we paid them. It is, you have to keep your promises. I think, and originally, it, I think the people that came on board with us were as excited about the concept and the dream that we had as they were about getting a paycheck. I think they were even more motivated to build something that was actually going to change the game. And not all of the employees were advertising people. Some were technical people, and some were
Mm.
graphic designers, and some were other types of specialties. But what they knew was this thing worked. And if it worked, it was going to help millions of businesses to actually understand what really works out there. It's so not what you think it is half the
Mm.
time. And they got excited. They got involved in our little mission, and they still are to this day. And we've retained most everyone, and a lot of them are partners in the company now.
Mhm.
We're rowing this boat all the way. And you can get in it and be on a good ride, or you can sit back on the sidelines and say, I don't know, how is this possible? If you take the test, you'll see.
Brian, do you have an exit plan? Do you have a plan of selling, devolving all of responsibility? If there is an exit plan, what is your exit plan?
These are things you talk about when everyone's had a couple beers, and we're sitting around talking about what's going to happen next year, the year after that. And you fantasize about the big company calling you up and saying, we want to buy you. Here's $1 zillion and a sack of money. It's possible that could happen. We do have a tech that nobody else has. And trust me, if you're thinking about it, this took so much effort. I don't think anybody really wants to duplicate what we did, or try to figure out how we did it. It's a buyout someday for us, most likely. I'm not going to be doing this when I'm 75 years old. But for now, until that happy day happens, it's sell, market, and customer serve. Take care of the customers, make sure they get what they want out of this thing. It's there for them, but not everybody sees it. So all of our customer service is free. Um, you can literally take the test and get free customer service and never have given us any money. You can book a Zoom call, and we'll
Mm.
explain what it means when we say this or that,
Mm.
and show you more. We're very underpaid around here when it comes to that part of the company, but they don't become customers until they have some understanding of what they're becoming a customer for. And since this is new tech, this is groundbreaking stuff. No one's ever mapped out human emotionality before and put it into an algorithm. It takes a little extra explanation. We're okay with that. We're building our fan base, and we're hoping everybody listening today will become part of that, and indirectly help us all help millions of other businesses who just need a leg up. They're not looking for a handout, but and they're smart people.
Mm.
Trust me, I
Mm.
saw a lot of smart people strike out when I had my magazines with ads. And these were brilliant people with nice companies, and they couldn't figure out what to say about themselves so
Right.
that it worked.
Yeah.
Right. And just give me the answers. I could do it. I'm smart. Give me the answers. I'll take it from there. but would somebody please just show me what the heck works for us, and we'll be okay. So that's our goal, is to get you to okay and take it from there.
And who are your competitors? Is your competitors the big agencies, the advertising agencies that will do this analysis in a person, not through an algorithm? Is that your market, that your competitors?
Yeah, there are no other algorithms that we're aware of. And if you see the depth of our materials, you'll agree nobody's even going to come close to how much. We have thousands of pages of curriculum and you don't get that much, of course, when you just get the ones you need, but we had to cover all the bases to be able to help just the first person. And we thought, oh boy, these big agencies, they're going to hate us, because we've actually walked into the room and said, hey, look, we can do this in 5 minutes. It takes you a lot longer. And we thought they would maybe look down their noses at us and be a little put off by the innovation company that walks in, as often happens. And you know what? This is the most amazing thing to me. Just the opposite. They looked at it and they said, oh gosh, somebody finally figured this thing out. Now we can save thousands of hours of man hours, and we don't have to spend all day in strategy sessions asking clients 10,000 questions that even sometimes the clients don't even know the answers to. We can just go right to strategy, right to creative. We can get ideas on the table on day one with our clients, and these will be ideas based on actual successes in the marketplace. So it's not like we just made this up. And because agencies sometimes have a hard time convincing clients it's the right way to go, because the client knows, you just made this up, right? Yeah, but we're really good at making this kind of stuff up. Yeah, but you can see how it goes back and forth. And with this, they can say, we also consulted Advanity, and we ran an Advanity profile on your company. And based on the results, we've got some extra things here to show you. And so the agencies have become some of our best friends. And it's just been awesome.
And you've created new product lines. So you've got Salesmanate, you've got the Yes Press. When you're looking at sort of new markets and expanding into new markets, what is your thought process? What's your analysis of how that new product line is going to work? What's your thought process in that way?
Getting back to your very first question, I put myself in that seat. I pretend I've still got my magazines, from, years ago. And the internet has grown up since then. I'm a dinosaur, but I can remember what it was like to try to figure some of these things out. Yes Press was based on the fact that every day people were asking our magazine to put their press release into the magazine. And 99 times out of 100, we said, no, we got no free room for you and your press release. Sorry. And so it's a ridiculously hard thing to do, to get your press release. And now we can get you on page 1 of Google, because it's a syndication. It's digital, speaks digital. It doesn't speak the old school. And so we brought that out because I know they need it. And if we'd have had it back then, oh my God, could I have helped my clients? The Yes Test, obviously that's needed. The photo database, Picmanity, we have 230 million stock photos in high resolution. Everybody needs photos. If you don't know which photo to pick, we'll help you. We'll help show you. Everything we put together is us saying, okay, if I was a small business sitting alone on Main Street, USA, starving and trying to get my name above the noise, one of the hardest things in the world to do is to be that one thing that's remembered above the noise being everybody else. Would this help me? Would this be contributing, or would this be too hard or difficult, or something that I would find more frustration with? And it has to be easy to use. It has to be instantly implementable. It has to be extremely low cost, because there's nobody out there looking to overpay right now. This economy, everyone's looking for a deal. I don't care how much money you have, you're negotiating. Okay, we know that. So we're priced everything so that it's so affordable. Nobody can really not afford this. And it's free to find out. We're doing that. And we just continue to put ourselves in the place of our consumer, which is a B2B company, probably small, probably less than 10 people, maybe up to 100. And they're still going to struggle, because as soon as you leave junior high, you have to go to high school. And you're the small kid again in that group. And then you
Yeah.
leave high school, you become a collegiate, then you're the small guy again. So it's
Yeah.
always, as you grow, you're finding bigger bullies
Yeah.
that you have to beat. So you're always doing this. And our goal is to give you the secret weapons that they don't even have, so that you can go much quicker, much faster, far less money and waste, making way fewer mistakes. Because when you get emotional, humans just buy. We just saw the Super Bowl, right? Okay, so all these ads are in there. What's their number one goal? To get you emotional about something,
Yeah.
so that you remember their brand, whether it's the horses are for Budweiser, the Clydesdales, or funny Arnold Schwarzenegger commercial, or whatever it is. They're trying to get you to remember the brand,
Yeah.
through an emotional response. And they're paying, when we pay $7 million for 30 seconds
Yeah.
this year to do it, ridiculous. But for them, it's worth it, because in their league, that's what it takes to win. Give it a try. We're not here to make you a $1 billion company tomorrow, but you'll never become a $1 billion company tomorrow if you don't know the emotions of your brand. And I can ask any CEO of a $1 billion company, I'll say, what are the two emotions that move the needle for your brand? And that billionaire CEO will go boom and give it right back to you. They know, because they've hired the talent to tell them. If I ask that same question to a small business, they'll stare right at me and say, not sure. That's the difference between making it and not making it. That's really the difference. They know to a certainty what moves the needle for them, and they do not deviate from that plan. And the small business has yet to figure it out, because they don't have that expertise helping them, right? So that's us.
What's the plan for the next 2 to 5 years for you and your business?
We want to help over 1 million businesses take the test for free. We got a long way to go, but we're sticking to that plan. We think if we had 1 million businesses taking the test for free, not only would we make a few dollars ourselves, everybody knows we have something to sell that takes the test, but we might change that horrible statistic. 80% of all small businesses fail. Right? Yeah. You might as well not even start. If you heard that enough, you would never start a company. Who goes into the casino with an 80% failure chance?
Yeah,
Nobody.
but all entrepreneurs, all business, there's a weird thing that's part of their brains that they, even though the odds are against them, they still think they can achieve it. They still think they can succeed. And I think
Yes.
that's something about the mindset of an entrepreneur business owner is, even when the cards are stacked against you, you still think you can succeed. And it's a mindset which is the reason why, even though the cards are stacked against you, you can still succeed.
Yeah, there's an old joke. Entrepreneur is the French word for, can I have my old job back? Um, and just like you asked about elite athletes and business people, it's the same thing. Every guy on our team thought he was going to win a gold medal. I like all you guys, but I'm gonna beat you all. That had to be your mindset every day.
Yeah.
To even show up. And if somebody told you even a casino, you get almost a 50-50 chance most of the time, right? Because it makes its money on a margin. It's just volume that wins for them. But if it was 80% chance of failure, there would be nobody in a casino anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling you, it really could change the landscape, because you can only have a hot dog cart and you're wondering, how am I going to sell more hot dogs than that guy over there who's also got a hot dog cart? I can see his cart from here, right? You might be smart to study Oscar Mayer, who sold more hot dogs than anybody else on the planet. And they figured it out. And if you sell hot dogs, you should pattern yourself after whoever sells the most hot dogs and how they're doing it. You should copy the winners. Not always perfect, but they're making more than you are. And there's, in many cases, some of the top businesses in your town are all using the same exact formula at the same exact time to sell the same exact product to the same group of people, and they're all working. The masses have no idea there's formulas at work, or that they're hearing a similar emotional pattern. They just like it or they don't. It's just, we're humans. We just either go yeah or nah. We don't care. Emotions determine in a nanosecond whether you'll buy something or not. And whereas your conscious brain, the one we're using now to talk, will wrestle with it,
Mm.
think about it, sort it out, process of elimination. And it's your no brain. It's the brain that says no most of the time because it's so smart. It's easy to say no because then there's no risk. No,
Yeah.
we're not going to buy that. Your subconscious, your inner child is your yes brain.
Mm.
And it takes in the information, and emotionally it waits for the emotions, and it goes, yes, buy the Ferrari. And all of a sudden you own a Ferrari. You don't need a Ferrari. No one ever needed a Ferrari.
No,
Ever.
never needed.
But that's how they sell them. And it's the same for toothpaste. It doesn't matter what the product is. It's emotionally purchased every single time.
Yeah. Look, we're coming to the end of the interview. I ask the same 6 questions to all of my guests. They're quick fire questions. They don't need a quick fire answer. The first question is, what's the best decision that you've made?
I think, and this was an actual decision, and it didn't happen early on. I learned to trust my instincts and quit doubting myself. I talk about all these syndromes and things people have that I'm not good enough, and everybody feels that. And since most of the businesses I started, I had never done that before. I was always the new guy on the block. I felt that a lot, and I would second guess myself a lot and say, maybe not, maybe that's too crazy, or I don't see anybody else doing that, maybe I shouldn't. And I learned that I was right more than I was wrong. I was wrong sometimes, but I learned to trust my gut. That's the best decision I ever made, because you have to consciously make that decision because your gut is subconscious. You have to learn to trust it because it's emotional, and it can go either way. That would be it for me.
What's the best piece of advice you've been given?
An old business mentor of mine once said, if both of us think alike, one of us is unnecessary. We were arguing over a thing, and I was worried that I was going to, irritate him to the point he wouldn't be my mentor anymore, because I felt this way and he felt that way. And he said, if both of us think alike, one of us is unnecessary. And I thought about that, and I never forgot that, because that's absolutely so true. Even in our company, we have all kinds of little fights over a strategy and what we're going to do next, and should we do this or that. And it's because none of us think alike, really. We think for the benefit of the company, but we have different opinions on how to get there. And it's brought a lot of good ideas to the table that I think it's good that you think that way.
Yeah, I agree. Who helped you most in your career?
I'd have to say most recently, my partner, Roy Regalado, he and I were the founders of the company, the first 2 people that decided this was going to actually happen. It was going to stop becoming a bunch of scribbles on my spreadsheets and algorithmic charts. It was going to be an actual business, and we we're going to actually try to do this. And we knew it would be years before we would make $1. And he stuck with me the entire time, and I think that's worth noting.
Absolutely. Tell me about a regret that you have.
Boy, there's a million mistakes you wish you could take back. There's no entrepreneur that hasn't stepped in poo somewhere along the line. However, if you believe in the process, that mistake leads you to the next success. So do you really want to take it back? Or did you learn something that catapulted you 2 steps forward from that? I think my biggest regret is that I didn't learn sooner in life that I could do anything I put my mind to. And if I didn't know the answers, I could certainly find the person who did. And if we didn't have enough money, we could find the person who did. There's really no excuse. You keep going down thinking like that, you could do anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's how people like Elon Musk must think, and other people who've built empires. They surround themselves with the people that can do it.
Yeah.
And then everyone says they did it. But I think that's how my biggest regret would be not getting to that conclusion maybe 15 years earlier.
What are you most proud of?
I am most proud of what we built here today, what we've talked about today. This has never been done before. It needed to be done. It's done for altruistic reasons as well as, hey, we're here to make money. I'm not here to tell
Of
you
course.
I'm a philanthropist.
Mm.
But the altruism of innovation is one of its foundational core principles. Nobody innovates without a good reason. There must be a reason to help others to grow, to do something better, or the innovation company doesn't start.
Mm.
And that's what we are. And so I am most proud. If you get into what we've built and you see the depth of it, when you get your test results, folks, you're gonna love them. They're gonna get about 8 pages of information about your business. That is 1% of what we already know about your brand. Just know that if you like that, the depth that comes after took years to develop. And because it was such a labor of love, we did the job, and it's now the best achievement, I think, of my career, business-wise. And I'm very proud of it, and I'm very proud of our team.
Next question. I think we've covered in lots of different ways, but I'm still going to ask it. The question is, why do you do what you do? And I think we've covered that you want to help small businesses and be able to grow, but let's slightly twist the question. Why did you start all those years ago when you started at Manatee? Why did you think you could succeed in a market that just didn't exist before?
A really good question. I think you have to be half crazy to be an entrepreneur, a true entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
They put something on the map that was not there before. They don't just say, here's another subway. Although there was originally an entrepreneur that did the first subway. We're not just falling into a business plan. We are creating the architects of something new. And I've always been attracted to the long ball opportunity. I'm always swinging for the fence.
Right.
I didn't want to go to the Olympics. I wanted to win. I didn't want to get a scholarship. I wanted my choice of schools. And I didn't want to be semi-successful in business. I wanted the Caesar mentality. If Caesar were alive today, he would say, I want it all, so let's just go get it all. That's what he did before.
Yeah.
He would have no problem with that because that's all he knows. And I wanted to pick something no one else had done that was probably going to be really difficult and hard to figure out. And I'm not a math genius, so I don't think I am. But I understood emotionality. And that's the advantage of knowing how it should turn out. The math is easy once you understand the outcome. And there was a sign in my 8th grade science class that said the problem once solved will seem simple. I never forgot that.
Yeah. Great.
And so I always swing for the fences, and this was a swing for the fences type of business. That's what makes it exciting, because we're not normal, and we know it, and we like being abnormal, and we like being on the spot, and we have a mission that's big enough to keep us believing that we can actually do this. We can actually change the game.
Next question. What does legacy mean to you?
To me, legacy is what you give to others long after you're capable of giving. There come a point in everybody's life where they can't do what they used to do anymore. And that everything before that point is your legacy. And everything after that point is your legacy.
Yeah.
At some point you have to there'll be a time when maybe I'm not the CEO of this company anymore, and I will have done the best I can for that time. And maybe somebody else come along who's just a genius, and they should take the reins, and they'll inherit my legacy. But you have to leave something behind. Otherwise, why are you here? Yeah. Do something. Martin Luther King once said, if you're going to be a little scrub, be the best little scrub on the mountain. Do your best. I have a saying that if you can't end up wrong if you do right every day.
Oh, nice.
So just do that. Just do right every day. You can't end up wrong. It eventually will catch up to good things that will happen. Trust me. And so that's your legacy. At least everyone will say, you know what? He did his best. And we're better off for if everybody would just do their best. Yeah. Let's be honest.
We'd be in a lot better state, wouldn't we?
Oh, there's a lot of people out there that we could ask a little more of, I think, right now, especially some of our leaders, no comment. Anyway, across all strata, I see a lack of leadership, and it makes me mad sometimes, but
Yeah.
I focus on what I can change only. Focus on what you can change. Don't
Yeah.
worry about what you can't change.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare. That's a worry. That's stress.
Yeah, I agree. Only control. You can only control. Like there's a David Goggins response, which was, you can only control what you can control. Everything outside of that sphere, whether it's politics, culture, society, whatever it is, you can't impact that. You can impact in this conversation. I can impact how I talk to you. And what I'm trying to do on this show is be able to showcase you and promote you and let you talk about your business and your experience and your journey. I can control that. So
Mhm.
for me, I'm present with you at the moment and I'm 100% concentrating on you. And that's what I can control. Someone out on the street doing like dropping litter or hurting someone, I can't control that. I can only concentrate on what I'm doing at the moment. I think all that idea of worrying about things outside of your sphere of influence is pointless and will only cause you harm and hurt and pain. So yeah, I 100% agree.
I agree. Wasn't there a study done that said 95% of what you worry about doesn't happen at all
Probably.
anyway?
Yeah, yeah,
And the only
100%.
statistic that, yeah, and the only statistic that can exceed that is 100% of everything you don't attempt won't happen either.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Go for it. What's the worst thing they can do for you? Yeah, scum you out on social media or say how you didn't make it. Pick yourself up.
Dust
Go
yourself
for it.
off, get going
Yeah,
again.
get back in the game.
Lastly, Brian, where can people find you if they want to find out more about you or your business?
We're very present, ever present on LinkedIn, as well as Alignable, and of course on our website. And you can take the test at freeyestest.com. That's just free, the word free, yestest.com. Anybody can take it anytime, day or night. But if you want to get in touch with us, please reach out to me, Brian Gregory, on either LinkedIn or Alignable. I am a selling CEO. I am very involved in the grassroots of this business, the customers, the marketing. I will not ignore people who write to me. I'm very accessible, and I try to be anyway. I try to get back to everybody. And so please don't be afraid. I'm not one of those people who won't say hi.
Yeah. And what I know of you, Brian, you are constantly on calls with people. You're constantly networking, reaching out to people, helping people, trying to help their businesses. And look, good luck in the future. Thank you so much for being a guest on my show. I've had such an enjoyable experience. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for your time and good luck in the future.
It's been a pleasure, Mark. Thanks for having me.
As we have a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs on this show, and it's all based around that. So we want to hear about their stories, about their journeys, about their businesses. But I think this is one that's a little bit different. 8 years, 9 years he's been running this business. And as he said, the first 7 years, 6, 7 years, he was still working out the algorithm. I wanted to delve more into the algorithm. We didn't have a chance to go into it, but that's something that has taken a long time to be able to build. And he said he knew it would work as long as we kept on going, kept on fighting, kept on iteratively getting better every single day. But Brian is out there in the trenches talking to clients. He's interacting with new sales calls. He's out there on Alignable, which is a US platform, by the way, and LinkedIn, and he's always available to have a conversation. You'll check out the Yes Test. There'll be a link where you can set up a Zoom call. He is out there doing something very different to everyone else. And I thought it was fascinating, that whole idea. He was the first to market, and often we've heard on this show, first to market often fail, and then people do it better and then make a success. But this guy on Humanity and the Yes Test, he's been the innovator, being the dreamer, being the disruptor. And what I loved about his story was that actually now ad agencies, he's partnering with them, he's selling his service to them. So they don't have to spend hours and hours talking to their clients about their brand. And as he said, they probably don't know enough about their own brand to be able to tell the ad agency what they need or what they want. So I'm super pleased that he Yes, his core business is small businesses to be able to grow. Absolutely. But it's very refreshing to hear that he's now working with ad agencies that are using this tool. And we've taken this tool for our podcast booking service, and it's been incredible with communication on our website, with communication that we're talking to our clients with on social media posts. This is really groundbreaking, interesting, and valuable stuff that he is presenting and sharing with you. So I urge everyone, even if you're thinking, oh, it's going to be a waste of time, it's 5 minutes. You put in your details and you get, as he said, an 8-page report on just scratching the surface to see all the other services that they can do to be able to add value for your business. So this is an endorsement from me. I don't often endorse people's businesses in this type of way, but I really do think you guys could get great value by spending 5 minutes answering those questions to get that value back from them about the algorithm, about your business, the branding, the emotions that you need to touch. As he said, he's got color schemes, he's got stock pictures, he's got so much content that will add value to your business. So freeyestest.com. Go and check it out. Everyone, look, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you on this show. You are the reason why I keep doing this and I keep on speaking to these great guests who add massive value to me personally, not just my listeners. And I love you all. And hopefully you get value and you enjoy the experience of this show. But I get something from the show speaking to the people like this. So thank you very much for your time. Absolutely appreciate it. Have a lovely day and on to the next one. I really hope you've enjoyed that content. It's a really fascinating interview that I've done there. So please do, if you are enjoying this content, please do give a subscribe. It'd be really good to boost the subscriptions. It really makes a difference to the algorithm in YouTube. So thank you for that. If you do hit subscribe, hit the bell icon and you'll get all of the content. You'll get notified when all the content is available. Thank you so much for your time. It's really appreciated. Thanks a lot.